working to connect a region of over 600 million bridges between our lands.
Hello and welcome to ASEAN in Focus. I'm Nea Mangawang, delivering to you the latest news in and around the ASEAN region. On today's headlines. A U.S. ambassador says that Chinese forces had installed anti-ship cruise missiles and surface-to-air missile systems on 3 Philippine-claimed reefs. ADB President Takehiko Nakao vows to help fund more infrastructure and developmental projects in Mindanao in a bid to promote peace in the region. And senior officials from ASEAN and Canada reaffirm commitment to deepen partnership through closer cooperation and collaboration at the 15th ASEAN-Canada Dialogue here in Manila. Chinese forces had installed anti-ship cruise missiles and surface-to-air missile systems, or SAMs, on 3 Philippine-claimed reefs. U.S. Ambassador to the Philippines, Sung Kim, citing sources with direct knowledge of U.S. intelligence reports, said China had deployed anti-ship missiles and SAMs on Fiery Cross, Subi, and Mischief reefs over the last 30 days. The 3 reefs are locally known as Cagitingan, Zamora, and Panganiban reefs, respectively, and they are among the marine features in the Spratly Archipelago that are disputed by China and the Philippines and 3 other Southeast Asian nations, namely Brunei, Malaysia, and Vietnam. At a regular press briefing, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Hua Chunying neither confirmed nor denied the deployment. If the information is verified, it could provoke renewed tensions between countries bordering the strategically to protect the freedoms of navigation, overflight, and commerce in the South China Sea. Washington also warned that Beijing would face unspecified consequences over its militarization of the South China Sea and said it had raised the issue with China. The United States takes no sides in the territorial disputes in the South China Sea, but has expressed interest in the peaceful settlement of the rival claims. To other news, Asian Development Bank, or ADB President Takehiko Nakao, vowed to help fund more infrastructure and developmental projects in Mindanao in a bid to promote peace in the region. Nakao said they want to invest more in Mindanao to help sustain peace in the region. Last December, the ADB approved a $380 million loan to the Philippine government for the improvement of Mindanao's road network and economic development. This marked the Manila-based multilateral lender's largest loan for the island region, which aims to develop around 280 kilometers of roads and bridges. Now, aside from helping fund major projects in Mindanao, the ADB chief said his office is also willing to help finance major infrastructure deals in Metro Manila, particularly the railways project. Meanwhile, have you ever stopped to think about how a development bank works? The Asian Development Bank, which is currently holding an annual Board of Governors summit here in the Philippines, has been around for nearly 50 years now. But how does it go about reducing poverty and promoting prosperity in the Asia-Pacific region? Take a look.
When you think of Asia, what comes to mind? Sure, Asia's the fastest growing region in the world. Look at Singapore, look at Malaysia, or Hong Kong, China. But it's also home to the largest number of poor on the planet. That's quite a contradiction. Meet Yiling and Maya, both single young Asian women. But that's where the similarities end. Yiling lives in Singapore. She's a successful accountant. Becoming an accountant took a lot of different things. Prenatal care for her mum, good nutrition, healthcare, quality education, housing, transport, power, and equal access to jobs. But for every young person like Yiling, Asia is home to thousands and thousands like Maya. She's unmarried with 2 small children, living on a rubbish tip. She has no electricity or water. Maya has had little formal education, working from just 12 to support her parents. Now she sells snacks on the streets. Her future, and that of her kids, is bleak. Helping people like Maya become happy, healthy and productive like Yiling is what the Asian Development Bank does. So how do we do it? It's actually fairly straightforward. Imagine for a moment you're an Asian country with a dream for your people. People like Maya. That means better hospitals, roads, power, schools, bridges, airports, in fact all the things you need to transition from a poor country to a wealthier one. It's a huge deal when you think about it, and it all needs financing. But money is not free. You pay interest with the amount related to your credit rating. And if you're a low-income country, getting finance for all that crucial infrastructure is not easy or cheap. Commercial banks say the risk is higher, so they charge much higher interest. And that's where we come in. ADB is different. We offer low-cost loans to governments and businesses that cannot easily borrow elsewhere. We always lend where the economic and development impact will be greatest. And to make the money work as hard as possible, we sweeten the deal with knowledge and technical assistance. It's a formula that works. We know we've been doing this successfully in Asia and the Pacific for more than 50 years now. And the needs are huge in the countries in which we work. Where countries are too poor to take loans, we offer generous grants to help create the recipe for growth. While Yiling is wondering whether to splash out on a new smartphone or take a holiday in Bali, Maya is torn between feeding her children or buying medicine to control her diabetes. Let's end her dilemma for good. ADB has been part of Asia's amazing journey from poverty to greater prosperity, but there's still a long way to go. Come join us for the ride of the century and help build a wealthier, healthier, smarter and happier Asia and Pacific for all.
ASEAN in Focus will be right back. Please stay with us.
Ang tunay na kahulugan.
Contentment lang.
Ano po ang inspirasyon niyo
Hindi
sa
lang yung
paggawa
sarili
ng
mo yung
mga
mapapasaya
cookies?
mo. Ang kailangan, yung lahat din ng tao
Ano
na mahal sa
ang
buhay mo,
level
is
of
napasaya mo.
happiness ngayong mga panahon na ito?
Anong na-accomplish mo sa buhay mo?
Intact family, of course, and strong spiritual foundation.
Yan ang lahat ng yan. Abangan niyo sa magandang usapan dito po sa Rule Yourself to Success, RYTS! Yeah!
Whoever they are,